Hello, class. I just want to give you a quick little video as we go through Module 2 here. Um, if you're living around southeast Michigan, there are some dark clouds rolling in, so it sounds like you're having plenty of time to do some online schoolwork today. Yay! So anyhow, I just want to touch base in regards to Module 2. A couple things. Hopefully the problem set's fairly straightforward. There's a couple definition-y type problems in there that you might have to kind of relook at the book, relook at your notes. But I just want to talk about a couple things, make sure you're seeing in the course right now that you should be seeing. So first of which is the guided notes. I want to make sure that you do see that every module starts off in the learning modules page. There's an overview of what to expect in the module, and on that page with the overview, there's a link to notes for that particular module. And each of the pages of notes for each module is set up the same way. We're going to start off with some vocabulary, formulas, that kind of thing. And the reason I set this up is basically to make sure that as you go through the module, you don't miss something. It also is nice then as you're going through the problem sets and the analysis assignment to be able to reference back to those notes and say, all right, what was a class boundary again, or whatever the case might be. So anyhow, make sure you're filling those out, print them out and fill them out, or if you prefer to work fully online, you can go ahead and just download the file and then fill it in electronically as you go. So I want to point that out. The other thing I want to point out as far as the problem sets is that all of the problem set questions that are calculation based, so in other words, not the multiple choice problems, all of them, once you've used up all of your attempts, have a thing called a detailed solution that you can click on. And that detailed solution is going to be a full explanation of how you should have solved the problem and how to get the correct answer. So if you're completely stuck on a calculation problem, sometimes it's okay to just hit the wrong answer a couple times till you used up all three of your attempts, and then check out that detailed solution. See if you can realize what your error was or how you were supposed to do the problem. And then you can go ahead and try a similar problem and start fresh with new numbers and do the problem. Now, if you use that technique, just be careful not to overdo it. That you can kind of convince yourself that you know what you're doing by doing that on every single problem and kind of getting walked through and handheld. That's not going to help you actually learn the material. But it's a good thing to do if you're completely stuck and you just need a little bit of extra help, you need that push in the right direction is to use that detailed solution option. Now, lastly, I do want to talk a minute about the analysis assignment for this week. The analysis assignment for this week is going to have you using Google Sheets for the first time in this class. Hopefully, it's not your first time using Google Sheets or Excel. If it is, all the information is available for you in the tech corner of how to get through this assignment and what functions you need. What I would suggest doing if I were you, though, is before you start the assignment, read through all the functions in the technology corner, then go through the assignment and start it, and then read through the tech corner again because there's so much information there that it's easy to kind of overlook something. So for instance, one of the really important parts that you could easily gloss over when you first read through it is the locking in of the random numbers. So in Excel and in Google Sheets, when you create a random number, it regenerates that random number each time you kind of click on anything in Excel or Sheets. And so after you create your sample, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to lock those numbers in place and say, don't regenerate anymore. And the way that we do that is we copy them and then we do a special paste. What we do is we go to the edit menu, we go to paste special, and then we paste values only. So what that does is instead of pasting rand between 1 to 10 or whatever it is that you're doing a random number with, instead of pasting that, it pastes the literal number that it came up with. So if it randomly came up with the number 5, it's going to paste the number 5 there instead of a random number. And that way when it tries to regenerate, it looks there and says, oh, you're not a random number, you're actually 5. So that's kind of what's going on with that function there, with that locking in of the numbers. So we want to make sure that we're doing that anytime that we're trying to do something with our random numbers after we've generated them. So with that said, I hope that everything's going well for you. I do also just want to reiterate, I do offer an option that if you complete your analysis assignment more than 24 hours before the deadline, you can email it to me or message it to me and just ask me to look it over and see if you're on the right track or not. If you are, then great. I'll give you the 10 right there and that right then and there. And if you're not on the right track, I can guide you and make sure you're going in the right direction. All right. So have yourselves a wonderful day. Try to stay safe, stay healthy, and I would normally say enjoy the weather for the spring, but I don't think today's going to be an enjoyable day. It's looking pretty ugly out there. So enjoy your insides today.